let's call the meeting to order, and let's have a roll call.
Commissioner and Chairperson Agnes Varnarski.
Present.
Commissioner Dana Syvertson.
Here.
Commissioner Pete Hahn.
Here.
Commissioner John Kamish.
Here.
Commissioner Seth Marcus.
Here.
I'm Commissioner Joe Moskell. We're uncertain if Commissioner Ed Madden will be present, but we do have a quorum.
Thank you. Let's have approval of the minutes of the board meeting of May 9th, 2024.
I make the motion that we approve the minutes that were so beautifully crafted they didn't need correction by Joe Mosco.
Thank you, Tom.
I second.
Okay.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Minutes approved. Thank you. Moving on to old business, the volunteer work days have been very heavily attended. It's been wonderful. Even after the parade on the July 4th weekend, we had 17 volunteers come out on Sunday. So that was just absolutely impressive. We have new volunteers all of the time, and it's been just wonderful. With the rain didn't scare anybody away. We had another 17 to transplant for our very last Transplant Wednesday. So it's been really wonderful. Our next workday depends on whether the coconut rolls get delivered for the shoreline stabilization. So it'll be either there, the shoreline stabilization, or at the slough.
Also, I'd like to add to that, at this point in time, we're at 1,843 volunteer hours year to date, which is ahead of where we were last year. I don't have an exact number on where we were last year. But I also, during the 4th of July parades, Agnes asked me about analytics for the website. And she was wondering if we had an increase on the 4th of July based on being in the parade in Arlington Heights. And so I took a look at some of these things. And we've had total year to date, 8,820 hits, unique hits on the website. The number of visits is 10,805. There were 22,930 pages that were viewed, 120,597 clicks, and used up a bandwidth of 18.3 gigs. During the month of July, specifically on the day of the parade, there were 111 visits. They viewed 141 pages. They had 2,238 hits, and it used up 227.85 megabytes, which probably contributed to the collapse of the Verizon 5G.
How does that compare with the months like before?
This is the first time I've looked at analytics, so I will.
Even if you look at July 1st, there was like,
Yeah, July
a
1st
third
was
of
66
Right.
visits, 88 on the 2nd, 71 on the 3rd, and 111 on the 4th, 74 on the 5th, 72 on the 6th, and 13 on the 7th. So I will look at these analytics every month now and start including that with the volunteer information. So just thought that'd be interesting.
thank you. All right, let's move on then to the Prospect Heights Public Library Park District events.
Okay, Nature Speaks is next Wednesday, July 17th. We will be doing a Zoom only. It is not recorded, so it's either you go to the library to watch the Zoom presentation, or you log in and do a Zoom from wherever you are. It is Nimki Brad Howie coming to us from Canada. He is an indigenous person that was raised in the traditions of his tribe, and then became a Western scientist. He has a degree in environmental science and in biochemistry. And so his blending of those two cultures together is really fascinating. And the subject of this talk is how
Perceive insects.
how the indigenous people view insects, plants, and animals, and their worth, and how that sort of it changes the perspective of Western approach. It's a fascinating talk. The guy is incredibly good speaker, so I'd like to encourage everybody to go do that. Moving forward to January, I'm working with the people at Scotland, The Big Picture, to try to get a screening of the film, Why Not Scotland? That film is an hour-long presentation where Flo, the subject of the film, walks through all of Europe, looking at the restoration efforts that are to rewild countries like Poland, France, Italy, all over Europe, and then she's asking at the end of the question, why not Scotland? And she's sort of underscores the starting points of where they are and where they're going with the rewilding of Scotland. Unbelievable, fascinating film. It looks like we're going to be able to do it. So hopefully that will be January. Okay? Any questions?
Fascinating.
Okay. All right, next to projects, update status and monitoring reports.
Again, I want to just take a second to show some photos. I was at the ComEd Prairie yesterday to, what I was going to do was just simply drive by to get enough information to put my report together, but I was so blown away by what I actually saw that I ended up touring both sections for over an hour. Patrick, can we show these now?
Yeah, they're on the screen.
Okay. So this is sort of what any path looks like. It's just a straight up dense wall of vegetation. It's all native plants, and the only really areas of mowed turf grass are where you see the turf grass. There's very few invasives there. You see these sort of dead things in the mix there. That, I think, is something that we can thank the cicadas for. For some reason, they just love those calorie pears. So what you see there is dead calorie pears.
Partially dead.
That are partially dead, that are all throughout the whole thing. This is Joe Pyeweed, right?
Yes.
There is a really increased abundance of biodiversity here that is really absolutely amazing. And that said, it is still dominated by tall goldenrod and a little too much monarda. Those are different issues to talk about. But here's rope dodder. So this was some rope dodder that Agnes and I put out there probably 3 years ago. And you can see its effects here. This is how it works. It just forms these ropes over it that it's
For the tall goldenrod.
parasitic
Parasitic on the goldenrod and asters.
on the goldenrod here, so it is working. But you can see how dense the vegetation is. I mean, this, there used to be giant patches of turf grass, and here the brown out area there's 2 patches of rope dodder.
So explain, rope dodder is
Parasitic, it's a native plant that's parasitic, specifically on asters, but the tall goldenrod. So it's been used in a lot of restorations, it's like the newest thing. So CFC is using it on Barrington, Cook County Forest Preserve, so we actually were donated some seed to try it on our little patch,
so
see how it works.
once it, let's say does that ever get out of control, or once the goldenrod is gone or the asters are gone?
Apparently not, once it's gone,
And
it dies down a little bit.
okay.
Here's some butterfly weed, and again, I mean, everywhere you look, it's like this. It's just so incredible, and there's hundreds of thousands of pollinators right now. I'd say probably in about 2 weeks, the prairies can be in really full bloom, and there could be over 1 million pollinators easily. Rattlesnake master has really become ubiquitous here. Especially on the far west end of the West Prairie and on the east end of the East Prairie. There's large colonies of this, but it's pretty well distributed throughout the whole thing, but these concentrations happen on both the east and west. Here's some ironweed. This is on the far east end of the prairie. Swamp milkweed, this is where it's wetter, these sedges here. And then this is the area that abuts, it's in between the bike path and Elmhurst Road. And it's sort of a no man's land that we've never really done anything with. It's time to do something with it. So my recommendation is that we proceed with that as soon as we can get to it. And here again, you can look at the vegetation. I mean, it's not like it used to be. It's just completely wall-to-wall, dense native plants.
No reed canary grass?
Just a couple touch.
There are some, there's a few touches of reed canary. There's still a few calorie pears. There's no Canada thistle that I could see. And
That's
again,
thanks
a
to
lot of
Peter.
this, I gotta take a couple minutes here to give Peter a shout out. Peter has been our herbicide guy for, what, 8 years now?
A few.
Peter's been spraying herbicide since he was 19 years old and decided that it's time for him to hang up his herbicide kit. So none of this would have been possible without Peter and Peter's efforts. It's not only here, but it's at Morava, it's at the Remnant Prairie, the Remnant Sedge Meadow. He has been a silent, quiet background worker, and I just want to give Peter.
Yeah, not a
A lot of
single
other volunteers.
other volunteers, interns, but Peter, you really did it.
It helps. Keep after it, though.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Patrick, that's good for that section there.
Okay, so I think we've got reports on everything else, and let's move on to the seed greenhouse program update. So, wow, we have a lot of plants. We already started collecting seeds with the interns, but our official seed collection won't start until August with the volunteers. And I mean, it's just been, our seed transplant Wednesdays have been very heavily attended. It's just been wonderful. Just yesterday, we had 17 on our final transplant Wednesday. We transplanted a lot, and actually, we literally ran out of things to transplant almost. There's just like maybe 100 plants left. So, but there are still the small pots going into the big pots, so we're actually gonna have Poplar Creek Prairie Stewards come help and volunteer next Wednesday morning. And I can't wait for all the seed to come in soon. It's just been unbelievable. We have a lot of
And what are
plants.
they going to do next Wednesday?
They're going to be transplanting from
Okay.
the smaller pots to the bigger pots, and then depending on, because many of these are going into the shoreline restoration, and then the slough, and then our other projects, and so some of these are going to overwinter as well, but they need to be tucked into their bigger pots.
Okay.
Okay, summer internship program. It's been just a pleasure. I love it. I just really enjoy being with the interns. They're very hardworking, really intelligent, very excited. It's just been I love it.
District 214 came out this morning and made a
Did.
video with Ava and myself and Agnes.
Mm-hmm.
They do videos on their more successful programs with internships. And Ava was an exceptional student and also was part of the intern program, which
Last summer.
parlayed into this. And so they sent a videographer out this morning. It's probably spent, what, an hour and a half?
An hour and a half.
And they'll be editing that out, and probably within 2 months, that video will, it's about 5 to 7 minutes in length, but it is definitely a big shout out to the NRC, so.
Yeah, it was really nice. Any questions, comments about that?
And you said Aga, so it's
Yeah, it's
an intern from last year?
No.
Ava.
Ava.
Oh,
Ava
Ava.
Foster was a high school District 214 micro internship
Okay.
intern last year. And actually, part of the reason that she decided to go into environmental sciences, or maybe even the reason, was because of that summer micro internship. So,
Thank you.
and then she applied for our summer paid internship. Okay, moving on to educational updates, Wheeling High School, MacArthur, and District 214. So far, school is out, so nothing planned. We did not do the summer micro internship because it just would have been too much. We did it last year, but it was difficult to both be with the interns and with the high school interns. So just decided to not do that, but planning for doing the fall, because it's also a pleasure to host the high school students and have them help. They're a great help as well. It's just a matter of time.
All the prairies at all the schools, Wheeling, Buffalo Grove, MacArthur Middle School.
They look
are all doing
amazing.
Fantastic.
We
It's-
just went to visit a few days ago. It's just unbelievable. You guys should really go check it out. It's really great. And it's just so wonderful to have all of these students have the exposure and the educational classroom of having those beautiful habitats. And they come out and volunteer with us all the time, so it's wonderful. Okay, moving on then. The Prospect Heights Community Days. Jill?
Jill?
We were rained on, but we lasted the whole time. We did have a lot of people stepping up, asking questions, and it was an opportunity for me to tell them about the block party, so we would have more plants available. Dana, do you want to add anything?
No, I think that pretty much says it all. It was, attendance was light because of the weather, and we got rained on.
Okay. Then the Living Green Expo.
That's Jill as well.
Yes, so always very welcoming event, very educational as far as all the environmental type vendors that they have there. I did have people step up to the table, and one lady commented to me, "Oh, I wish we had a natural resource commission in Mount Prospect." So the cicadas were a bit of a bother. They were flying at the time, and seemed like they were aiming for my hair, but it is a nice event, good people.
Yeah, and I erroneously left out the report in the June Resources Journal about this event, so I will be putting that in July. My apologies to Jill.
No worries.
Okay. Prospect Heights Park District Block Party.
Go ahead.
It's one of my favorite events. We handed out all of our plants. I think we only had 2 trays left. So we had 106 packs that we gave away, and this year it was butterfly weed, which is a really special milkweed. And it was just great fun. I think it's just really nice because we know so many of the community members now, and they'll walk up and talk to us, and they've already had their plants from last year and the year before that, and they're excited to know what we have, and just they visited a lot of the sites, and it's just really, really nice to talk to everybody and just be around the whole community.
So the handouts are going into the ground and they are propagating and proliferating and they're doing well?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, because I ask people,
Yeah.
and they love it, and so they
Good.
have their milkweeds from last year and even the year before, and they love it and they want to expand.
Oh, great.
Yeah, some of them have even purchased native plants on their own because they really like
Yeah.
how it is, and it's just really very nice. And the students, it's just so nice because we're in the school so much, and you see them grow. So they'll come to the Black Party, and they've grown a few inches, but they remember, our nature events, or a work day, or Eagle Scout project, and it's just really nice. I enjoy that so much. It's just such a great connection to the city, to
Yeah, it's
to
fantastic.
everything. Yeah. A great event. It rained, but I think it rained like later. We left before it
Yeah,
rained,
the rain started at 11.
or before then, but we left
Right.
before then. Mhm. Any other comments? No. Independence Day parades.
I'd like to give John a shout out for another colossal effort. And Kate and Mara and Andy, I mean, if you stand still long enough, they're going to paint you. It-
And Mary and Spencer and Monty and everybody.
The entire team
Oh,
was
my
just
gosh.
off the charts. And so we have a
Jill.
few, these photos that you're looking at now, this is These are photos of Patrick Colvin, the one and only Prospect Heights videographer and photographer. And he's kindly let us use these photos, not only tonight, but on the journal and on the webpage that I'm currently building. So here's a nice shot of the start of the parade. This is in Prospect Heights. John, if you want to take over here in the conversation.
Well, again, we've used some of our past props, including the giant monarch butterfly, and later on you'll see the caterpillar again. The new entries this year were these 4 giant walking ants right there. And that, I don't know who that guy in front is leading that, but
It was weird.
yeah, he was weird. But I got a lot of good responses from those new ants in the parade. They took a lot of time and effort to make those guys. So again, thanks to Kate and Andy and Mara and everybody who helped decorate them, and Mary too.
The turtles is like
The
one of
turtle
the biggest hits.
is a huge hit. Everybody loves the turtle. The kids love the turtle, so he will be coming back all the time. He was playing the trumpet in the Arlington Heights Parade. And there's the caterpillar. So yeah, we tied in, this was a kind of a bug theme this year, tying it in with the Sunflower Group, who has their exhibit going on at the Isaac Walton Park. And that'll culminate in September. So we kind of tied in our July 4th theme with that. So that's why we added four new bugs. Of course, Monty and Spencer and Mary, everybody just colossal efforts in helping construct this thing, organize it, put it together. Mark, Deb, the list goes on. Dick helped everybody. And the big part that you don't see here is breaking it down. So after it's all done, it all gets unscrewed, taken apart, and unfortunately stored in my basement. So, so anyway, it was great, and I'm proud to announce that for the 3rd year in a row, we won first prize again. So we had the three-peat, so that was great. And I appreciate everybody's help and effort with this. It couldn't happen without all the volunteers, for sure.
Yep.
And if I could just add, I have about 600 photos that I'll be adding to a shared Google Drive. It just has taken me a lot of time to go through them because there were some lighting issues. Every single one had to be edited.
Oh,
But they'll be up shortly, and I'll get a link out to everyone to share, because I really made an effort to get some good images of everybody that participated in both projects. So it'll be a nice thing to share with all of the volunteers that came out for us. But John, great job,
Thanks.
per usual.
Thank you very much. Another nice addition this year was our new light blue PHNRC T-shirts. Thanks to Dana for tracking down a good vendor, a better one than last year, I think, to put that together and come through in the clutch. And those new shirts are really nice, and I think all the volunteers really love them. I know I love them.
And thank you for your support, John, for getting those for us.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's no minor thing.
Yeah.
It's very much appreciated.
Yeah, Dana helped out as well, so it was good. The biggest problem this year, we had music glitches, and so the sound system, went out and bought a whole new sound system for this event, and it still had problems. So we'll sort that out for next year. Yeah.
Any other questions, comments?
Lots of fun. Okay, let's move on then. Continuous reporting. ComEd Green Regions Grant status.
They said that the results were going to be out originally in end of June, and then it became early July, and it's now mid-July, and they still have not announced the winners for this year. So unfortunately, I do not have an update on where we are with that application.
Well, at least we haven't gotten a no yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it.
So that's all I got for you.
Okay. Eagle Scout projects update.
Nothing new to report.
Adopt a Trail update.
The commissioners and a few volunteers have pretty much taken over that task. There haven't been a lot of volunteers come forward and want to participate in that program, so I think that's probably going to be the extent of it. Over time,
Maybe over time.
Have we marketed it well enough to the volunteers?
it's gone out 3 times now, and I talk about it with
All the time.
volunteers all the time, so
During work days. And
it's a big ask.
it is.
I know I've fallen behind on the Heron Pond trail stuff. Hopefully I'll get there, but there's just a little too much on the plate for the last couple of weeks.
Editing.
Gee, you wonder why.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's move on to the budget.
I apologize, it slipped my mind to get the actual printed out budget this month. But the main things are, we spent $5,500 out of our allowance from the city for this year's shoreline restoration. So that's the bulk of that money. We're allotted $6,000 a year for that.
Right.
The rest of that is easily spent on all the little miscellaneous items that.
Fill dirt.
Yeah, fill dirt, basically. And then we bought more dirt for the greenhouse,
Correct, out of our
Program.
regular operating budget.
regular operating budget. So there still should be plenty in the regular budget, but the interns will start tapping into that.
Yeah,
with
they
their-
already have.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. Moving on to city civic meetings and PHNRC representation.
Certainly. So notes from the City Council, Prospect Heights Park District Board, and PZBA board meetings in May and June will be provided in the July 11th PHNRC meeting minutes. But to note, the Planning and Zoning Board of Appeals held a public hearing on June 26 for consideration of text amendments to Title V, Chapter 6 residential districts. The proposed amendments would amend Title V, Chapter 2, Section 3, adding definitions, and amending Title V, Chapter 6, Section 1, related to keeping chickens as permitted use in the R1 residential district. The draft ordinance states, allowing keeping of chickens in the city's R1 residential district as an approved accessory use. Residents must register with the city and undergo an annual zoning review. Residents who apply under an updated city ordinance may be allowed to keep up to 20 chickens. The new city code allows for a 200-square-foot coop, or about 10 square feet per chicken. Roosters and slaughtering of chickens are prohibited. Several residents in the audience at the June 26 meeting spoke, as well as a few PZBA board members. The proposed ordinance to regulate the keeping of chickens in Prospect Heights failed to secure a recommendation from the city's Planning and Zoning Board of Appeals on June 26. Therefore, a hearing on a potential revision is scheduled for September 25th.
Thank you.
Can someone explain the importance of the rooster and the chicken thing?
Oh, I'm not going to start with that.
All right, I don't know. And maybe some of the
John,
listeners.
I'm just curious, did you have a mom and dad who talked to you about birds and the bees when you were little?
Well, I understand that. But apparently,
There's money.
there's other issues.
I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah.
No,
There's-
mostly.
All right, we won't go into
It falls
That's
under
for another
noise
meeting.
control.
If you want to watch the minutes, though, of the PCPA, there's so much information from all the people.
Yeah, but
the
it's
residents.
a 3-hour meeting.
That's not the only one, though. There's been meetings before then, and there's so many people that, there's so much educational information out there about
Yeah.
roosters and chickens, and so I'm not gonna, it would take me a long time. Okay. Friends of the PHNRC.
That is in the works. The city lawyer is, we've had one conversation with them so far. They are, the ball's in their court. They're moving it forward, and probably it's going to take around 2 months to get fully set up. And as we have updates, we'll pass them on. It's a great thing, though.
And if I could just add some gratitude to our city council
Oh,
for
absolutely.
Yes.
their support of our nonprofit arm. You know, obviously, probably could have done it without them, but
I don't think
why?
so.
You know, with a Herculean effort, so, but it's very much appreciated, and I just wanted to mention that.
No, very, very appreciative, and, you know, this is a really great way to work together with the city and Prospect Heights and the Park District and everybody to really gain advantage, too, of those wonderful opportunities for non-for-profits and grants and to improve our city, really. So I'm just really appreciative of the city and the council helping us along with this. It's really great. Okay, any other comments? No. MacArthur Middle School and Tree Planting Initiative. Peter.
Yeah, so we finally had a June call and Zoom meeting, representatives from District 23, MacArthur Middle School, Open Lands, Tree Keepers, and I was there also with the PHNRC being represented. It was a good meeting. There were several questions about who's going to water, maintain the trees. Also, we're planning another meeting sometime either late July or August together, get more information on exactly where these areas are that we're going to plant. At that time, we'll set a date for a site visit where we can actually mark the trees. I hope maybe Dana or Agnes could come along, also be there, so we don't interfere with any of the plantings that we've done out there. The questions concerning mostly were how many trees. I mean, we can do 1, 2, or 3, or 10 or 15. It all depends on District 23 and MacArthur Middle School, and of course, teacher there, Stephanie. So things are moving along. We'll see how far it goes.
Thanks for doing that, Peter.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
So much. Good work, and very appreciated, and it's a great initiative. It's wonderful. Okay, let's move on to new initiatives, which is the Prospect Heights Park District Summer Camp.
Okay, I sent out notices to everybody to find availability, and it turns out that the best date is August the 8th. It will be 9 to 12. Lunch will be provided for everyone. It's the same format as it's always been. There'll be 5 stations, roughly 60-plus campers, divided into 5 groups with their Park District attendants. And this is the sort of group assignments. So the toxic sledge, Linda Wasey is going to pick up all the props that go with that from Wendy Dwyer, who is not available, and she will be working with the 2 summer interns, Ava Foster and Emma. In the Creek is me. I wrote to Ed, and I haven't heard back.
Yeah, I currently have a conflict. I'm supposed to be traveling that morning. I'm looking to see if I can postpone it to at least make the morning portion. So,
I'm not
but
sure
I can't confirm that yet.
I'm not sure we could put you in the creek, Dana.
No, I can get other people, though.
Yeah.
There are still some volunteers that have said they would help if needed.
Okay.
The art department is Kate, Mara, and Andy again. They volunteered to take that over again, which is fantastic. Skins and Skulls this year will be Seth and Joel Steffens. Bruce is not available to participate this year. And the Magical Mystery Tour is Agnes and Jill, unless Jill ends up parlaying over to the creek with me, so.
Ends up head first in the creek.
So as we get closer to the event, we'll have more details, and if anybody's got any questions, just let me know. That's it.
Okay. Letty,
Did you say toxic sledge?
Toxic sludge.
Sludge.
Sludge, sorry.
you.
What is that exactly? I don't.
It's about recycling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wendy has all kinds of things that she's defined as being toxic, and so you can't touch them with your hands. So there's all these tools that she's built to pick this stuff up and carefully move it, and some of them take 2 people to do it, Some may take 3 people to do it.
It's like a
And that you
fun
have to
game.
work as a team to get this.
I think I've seen them do it during like the science fair at
Well,
MacArthur.
they did it last year
Yeah, at
at the camp, and it
It's
was a
just
big
fun,
hit.
and it's a way to learn about, I don't know, recycling and about just materials that. Okay. Any other questions? Comments? No? Okay. Moving on. Poplar Creek Praise Towards Seed Collection Days, we have not confirmed that at all, so, but I think it would probably be September or October. So I think at the next meeting.
You skipped over our seed collection.
I'm sorry, our seed collection Wednesdays are going to start August 21st. Is that a Wednesday?
Yes.
Okay. And then go through October, maybe even November, we'll see, depending on the weather, but it's coming up soon. We may want to start actually a little bit earlier than that because a lot of plants this year have really started
They
flowering earlier, like 1 to 2 weeks, and there's already seeds to collect. It's only mid-July, not even mid-July, so I think we might push that date a little bit back. We'll see when things start happening.
Push it forward, you mean?
Right, push it forward. Not back, yeah. So maybe it'll be even beginning of August.
The other back.
The other back. All right, so Poplar Creek's seed collection days, we haven't determined yet, and there is no PHNRC meeting in August. So, anything else, any comments? There's any announcements to the public? Seth, nothing this time? All right, no visitors, so no comments. Okay, then let's have a motion to adjourn.
I motion we adjourn.
Let's have a second.
Aye.
Aye, all in favor? Aye. Thank you very much.